Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Alchemxst Xavier if you're new here. Today's episode will be quite different than what I've put out prior. Today's episode, I want to send a message to humanity, to Earth itself, to the planet, to society. And that message is, due to the current state that our world is in, it's now time to understand deeper meanings and deeper knowledge on why certain things are occurring the way they have been occurring, especially in the last 2 years. In the last 2 years, humanity has been experiencing a pandemic, geological changes, etc., etc. There are massive and numerous changes that are occurring on our world, and it is due to more than just random moments occurring here on our planet. The occurrences and the changes that we see around us in the last few years point to something very, very profound about our society and about our world itself. And that is, for thousands of years, no, for generations, humanity has been trying to fulfill and focus on a goal that does not truly satisfy the human experience. And that goal that we have been trying to focus on as a society for thousands of years, for generations, is a focus on survival through materialism. A focus on labeling others and judging others based on their materialistic status, on their materialism. And this focus for thousands of years, building our civilizations, our cities, our communities around this survival mentality, has caused humanity to not see their bigger picture. And what's even worse is that the leaders of our society, whether in our present era or before, have all been committed to making sure that those that they rule over stay within that lane of always focusing on materialistic values. Now, you may be wondering why a focus on survival through materialism would be such a bad thing, right? I mean, we all can get jobs one way or another, and we all have the ability to earn the money that comes from these jobs in order to sustain ourselves. It's something that we see everyone doing around the planet, whether they are rich with materialism or they are poor with it. This is just something that we've all been accustomed to believing that was natural. So how could it be anything bad? Some of us have even included our faith and our spirituality to help us within this quote-unquote survival game of money and resources. You may be wondering, why is it such a bad thing that you mentioned? And how could that lead to us in the present era having a pandemic on top of having geological changes? How does money play a role into all of that, as you have mentioned, from a grand scale? And like I said, you may be wondering that. And the reason why is because when you have for thousands of years a society focusing on money, then for thousands of years you will have generation after generation disconnected, out of alignment with the bigger picture of how our planet is meant and supposed to be. This focus constantly on gaining money has generated the oil industry, has generated the industry where you have to pay bills, where you have to put gas in your car. When you've had certain historical figures from the past, before these systems came into play, trying to bring about systems of free energy. The one person comes to mind is Nikola Tesla, who tried to create free energy through his research and his devices, and was canceled and shut down by the creator of the oil industry. You know, the reason why you have to pay electric bills today, or you have to pay gas today, is because a certain individual did not agree to Nikola Tesla and instead wanted people to pay for things and systems that our Earth grants us for free. Now you must be thinking, who is this individual that you speak of that was so driven to tarnish Nikola Tesla's invention, his research, and his reputation? And this individual is known as J.P. Morgan Chase. Yes, the financial banking family that has created part of the banking system here in North America. This same individual, J.P. Morgan Chase, went out of his way to tarnish Nikola Tesla so that way he could bring about the oil industry and the reason why you have to pay an electric bill today. JP Morgan Chase just represents one example of what I mentioned earlier about the leaders of our society driving this narrative of materialism for the purpose of always keeping humanity locked down within a box. And keeping humanity in this box, the purpose is to never allow humanity to see who they truly are and to thrive with their planet in the most optimal way. Instead, this box is meant to be self-destructive, where we're meant to work in it and gain money until the planet has had enough and we're all gone from it. Are we going to let this false box around us determine our true destiny, our true fate? Are we going to let this false box of money, of media, of false healthcare, of false religion determine to us how we're supposed to exist when other ancient civilizations and other ancient cultures are more in alignment with the natural world, with the world itself? Are we going to allow this box to really determine who we are? Or are we, humanity, going to rise up and wake up and see that in our present day, that the world is showing us something more than normal, showing us something that is giving us an indication that something has to change. Something is not right. And if for thousands of years humanity has forsaken the health of the planet for the sake of their own materialistic survival, then there is a big disconnection there. Because last that I checked, you do not need money for this planet. You didn't come to this planet and were told by the leaves you have to pay your bills. You weren't told by the oceans you have to pay your bills. You weren't told by the air you have to pay in order to breathe it. No, it was our own brothers and sisters or other individuals on this planet who shared the same human experience who felt that it was necessary to put a price tag on all of these things to keep humanity in a box. And the sad part about it is a majority of humanity bought into it thinking that that was okay. Well, guess what? It's not. It's meant to be grown out of, and it's meant for us to break free from. And so this is my message to humanity. Humanity, see the bigger picture. Because around you, the examples are coming out. More and more is changing. More and more is showing that people are waking up and seeing the big picture. So humanity, stand along with me and rise and know you could take your power back. And you take your power back, humanity, by honoring, respecting, and loving who you truly are. And sometimes to find that out, you have to explore yourself. You have to encounter what you may consider the negative aspects of yourself, and you will also encounter the positives. But you must love and understand them both in order to fully integrate and transmute the negative and the positives of you into one aspect. This process is about loving yourself. It's alchemy. It's coming to realization that you are more than what society, whether from a religious perspective or scientific perspective, or just the media alone, has determined what you should be. Instead, you will see that you are more. And you have the right to honor that. You have the right to love yourself through that. Whether you're exploring the dark or the light parts of yourself, you have the right to explore it and love yourself through it. And that will allow yourself to see a bigger picture, to become part of a bigger narrative, a narrative that most of us that are waking up to are realizing is the way forward. It's the way to join hands and allow this planet to thrive by first loving ourselves and in turn sharing that love with others. It's also about fighting as well, fighting with that love, fighting to show that this is the truth, that this is the way to be, that this is the way our planet thrives, by loving and fighting for that love. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so humanity, this is my message to you. With how the world has been, the falseness of it, the fakeness of it was never meant to last. And we are seeing those effects around us every day. And so now, are you going to be one of those individuals that join that and rise up against the false systems of planet Earth? Or are you going to remain subservient and closed-minded like they want you to be? It's your choice, humanity. And this is my message to you. Take care.